Hey everyone, and thank you for joining me for another episode of the Sask Sports Show brought to you by Amateur Sports TV. Tonight I have a very special guest. He is the manager of sport and championships for Golf Saskatchewan, Steve Ride.
Thanks for having me on today.
No worries. Hope all is well with you.
Absolutely. It's last day for most of the golf courses in the province. Obviously north, some have closed sooner. So yeah, it's been a great season under all the circumstances. So
would you say that this year the golf courses stayed open later just because of the nice weather that we're having, at least here in Saskatoon?
absolutely. Remembering last year, the white stuff fell and it stayed, and your phone always brings up memories from previous years, and I chuckled when I saw it because I was out golfing that day, and it's quite nice out. So yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, so tell me what your roles and responsibilities of your role as manager of sport and championships with the organization.
Absolutely. So I kind of wear two hats. The sport development part of it is doing Golf Canada programming, such as golf in schools, learn to play clinics, golf like a girl programming, mobile clinics. The other side is tournament director. So I choose the site of the provincial championship up to 3 years away, and then all the planning that goes involved with it with the host golf pro or manager, and then from the day-to-day operations of the event and finalizing it and moving on to the next one. So yeah.
And what are the kind of the criteria that you look at for choosing, especially with like provincials, for choosing which golf course you're going to play at?
Definitely have a small committee that'll review. Managers can apply to be a host, or we seek out, try and spread the events around year after year, central, north, south sort of thing. But definitely criteria is accommodation has to be near the championship venue, the course has to be a top caliber location, such things as restaurants, practice facilities, all these things go into account when choosing an event. We also encourage the local membership to volunteer and help out and make the event as best as it can be. So, yeah.
And kind of roughly how many, I would say, top-notch golf courses do we have here in Saskatchewan?
There's so many. We have regional park courses that are 9 holes, 18 holes. Sand Green even are part of the member group in Saskatchewan. So off the top of my head, I don't have the exact number, but we have quite a few in the province for sure.
Well, I know just moving out here, I've had the chance to play at Lake Diefenbaker in Elbow.
Mm-hmm.
And that is I would have to say a top-notch golf course.
Absolutely. It's one where, you have 18 holes and you look to either side and you feel like you're next to the ocean. Some days it can blow pretty windy. Some days you can catch it on a calm day, and it's just absolutely amazing. So, yeah.
I guess that's the joys of having a golf course or just at a lake.
Yeah. Very large body of water, that's for sure.
So how long have you been with Golf Saskatchewan in the role that you are in right now, or just with the organization itself?
Okay, so I joined the team in the spring of 2018. So this was my third season with Golf Saskatchewan, and I really enjoy it because I'm a PGA member of Saskatchewan. I've been a golf professional since 2000. So I enjoy teaching and coaching and bringing joy to people and showing them and introducing the game of golf. So yeah, no, it's been great so far.
Well, from kind of what I've seen and researched around here, you're doing a really good job.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it's a great organization to be with. Hats off to the volunteers and the board and the rest of the staff that go into working hard each and every day with us. So yeah.
And you get to go to work every day and do something that you really enjoy, with a game of golf.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been an assistant pro for many years, many different courses, and you're at that course day in, day out. That's kind of the beauty of being part of a governing body association that I get to work at multiple courses, multiple staff members, managers, right up to back shop employees. So it's great.
So, with did you have a professional career in golf before joining Golf Saskatchewan?
Yeah, so we have a PGA of Saskatchewan has their own events. They host 3 or 4 events throughout the year, and then there's some pro-ams as well. So if you play well enough, you can make it to Team Saskatchewan and move on to national PGA events and compete against your fellow peers from other provinces. So definitely some top caliber players in our province here in Saskatchewan, that's for sure, both professionally and amateur. So I don't know who would be the host, the bragging rights to see who the top player is, but I'm curious to maybe host an event one year and see who that is.
Yeah, you can. I guess you can get who you want to come to the tournament, and just figure it out for yourself to see. We'll see all the golf talent that goes on in Saskatchewan too.
Mm-hmm.
Also, does Golf Saskatchewan do they associate themselves with the PGA Tour of Saskatchewan?
PGA of Saskatchewan, Professional Golfers Association. So we work hand in hand together, and Golf Canada, Golf Saskatchewan, PGA of Canada, PGA of Saskatchewan. So we work hand in hand together as a group and try and grow the game the best we can.
Well, I imagine it's been a lot harder this year with the new rules and regulations that were implemented when golf did come back in May. What exactly did golfers what were the rules and regulations that were implemented when golf did come back in Saskatchewan?
Initially, golf wasn't allowed, and then it was allowed. May 15th, they opened the gates, allowing play to start, and they started early with really spread out tee times. I believe it was 20-minute tee times, so you could get not many groups out in an hour, and then they shrunk it down to 12 and then down to 10 minutes, I believe. So with not many sports going on, golf seemed to be the popular one, being allowed with social distancing as top priority. So everybody flooded to the golf courses, and you got new members, you got new golfers. Driving ranges were busy. I'm a member at the Willows in Saskatoon, and every time I was there, the driving range was packed. There was a lineup, obviously socially distant lineup, but it was just crazy to see the influx of golfers that came to Saskatchewan and nationwide. I'm sure worldwide, to be honest.
Was there with the new rules, was there any feedback on, were there any upset golfers?
Initially, yes. Because you think of a member, I pay to play at a golf course. Now you're fighting to get a tee time. So that was definitely a challenge a lot of managers and pros had. Other things such as leaving the flag in, you have to have a lifter mechanism in place to lift the ball out of the hole. No rakes and bunkers. There's so many different things, It made it challenging, but I feel like around the province, everybody succeeded in every way possible. So,
well, for the game to be played, these rules have had to be followed because, like you said, there was the only sport available in the summertime was golf, and kind of what I've seen. Yeah, it's been nuts once golf courses opened up.
Mm-hmm. No, it's been great to see, and thankfully we had a really good year for weather. So I don't recall too many rainout days or overly windy days. So it was a great year, right from start to finish. So luckily we had May 15th to October 15th. So we're happy to have 6 months here in Saskatchewan.
You usually have 6 months of winter.
Yeah, exactly.
So, did COVID affect any like tournaments, provincials, playoffs, any cancellations that came about?
It definitely did. It did have an impact in it. With the golf course guidelines from Government of Saskatchewan, there were no shotguns allowed. So they're trying to get away from the huge gatherings and mass people, and that was the biggest issue. So events weren't allowed at the start, and then Golf Saskatchewan put a plan together with the business response team, and then that allowed us to go ahead and work under the current guidelines. Tee time only event, no gatherings after the round is played. Same rules in place. Flag must stay in. No rakes, that sort of thing. So. We did run 3 provincial events. We did cancel 2 of our team events. They have a big social aspect to them, so we decided to just go ahead and cancel them. And I believe, not 100% certain, but even 2021, those team events will be canceled too. So,
well, like hockey and football, they've banned out of province play with. Especially when it comes to nationals, and just kind of they don't want the spread of COVID to come back to Saskatchewan. Did that in any way affect Golf Saskatchewan or golf members, or from tournaments to go out of the province?
Definitely. For instance, our men's amateur this year, it was played out at the Legends. We maxed it at 100 players. Probably had 20 to 30 players from Manitoba and Alberta trying to get in to compete, and the thirst for competition was very high, and our board and staff decided, well, hey, let's just keep it interprovincially only and just Saskatchewan players, and it was a no-brainer. That was an easy one to call. So yeah.
Well, throughout, like with kind of all the programs that you do offer, like roughly how many age groups and age divisions are there throughout Golf Saskatchewan?
So let's start with the juniors. You have your U19 age group, so 18 and under as of August 9th, I believe. They based the eligibility off of the National Junior Championship, which is played in August. Nationals were canceled this year, but so back to the age eligibility. So U19, and then you'll have U17, which is juvenile age group, U15, which is bantam, and then U13. So you have 4 age groups within the junior boys, and the junior girls, same thing, U19, U17, U15. So they only have 3 there. So there is a U12, U13 category, but rarely do we see in the female age groups of that age. They just they're not ready to compete, which I wish we could get to that level and get more female participation would be great. But here we are. So,
and with those age divisions, roughly how many tournaments are put on per year for each division?
So we do our junior provincials. That's the big one in the province. There's another organization called the Maple Leaf Junior Tour. They're part of a different company. So they run a series of junior events around the province. With the junior tournaments, we have what's called an order of merit. So all of these events are linked together, plus some local events. Like the Saskatoon Junior Open. I don't believe that was played this year, but there's a tour that juniors can play in different events and compete and keep a season-long standings type of thing. So, Yeah.
Okay.
As for age groups, then we move into men and women. You get men are 20 and are 19 and up. Then you get into a mid-amateur competition where it's 25 years old and up. Mid-masters age group, which is 40 years old and up. And then senior age men is 55 and up. Then the same thing for the ladies. I believe the senior category for the ladies, I'm not sure why, but it's 50 and up. So with the senior men, where it's 50 and up, and you could probably have a good argument with quite a few golfers on that one, but I'll just leave it at that.
I've seen some ladies in their late 50s, probably they're pretty good golfers. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, some good talent, that's for sure.
Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with some more golf talk with Steve.
All right.
At Super 8 Winnipeg West, we have your comfort in mind with free Wi-Fi and free daily Superstart breakfast. We also have guest laundry facilities, a state-of-the-art fitness center, and a jetted hot tub. Sleep well in a spacious guest room equipped with plush new bedding, a 50-inch flat-screen HD TV, microwave, mini refrigerator, and Keurig coffee maker. Or book a suite with a kitchen, ideal for extended stays. Super 8 Winnipeg West, located just inside the perimeter on Portage Avenue.
Okay, so we are back with the Sask Sports Show. I'm here with Steve Ride. He's the manager of sport and championships for Golf Saskatchewan. And we, sorry, I gotta figure out where I lost my train of thought. But
good.
With all these age divisions that Golf Saskatchewan does have, is there to get into, let's say, provincials with the junior age group, is there a certain handicap or kind of has to go to a certain amount of tournaments a year to qualify for provincials?
So that is part of eligibility to enter into them. Say, for example, the men's amateur. You do have to be a member of Golf Canada, Golf Saskatchewan to compete. The handicap must be 8 or less. Some guys kind of sneak under the radar and have a handicap, but we basically want to have the best golfers in the province compete, and that's definitely one of the requirements.
And do you guys have a committee that enforces that? Does background checks basically on these guys' scores just to make sure that they're.
That's a hot topic, and we try and get member clubs in Saskatchewan to have a handicap committee, handicap chairperson, where they work with their men's clubs and their ladies clubs to get these players to enter their rounds and keep on top of that sort of thing. And with the influx of all these new golfers, I know a lot of the golfers aren't putting in their scores, and even golfers who have been members for years, they don't enter their scores. So it's always a tough topic to get people invested in that and see the value of that, keeping the correct handicap. So,
well, I would imagine that, if somebody, let's say, came in and put that they were below an 8 handicap, you would notice on the during their round with their golf game if they really should be there.
Absolutely. And it'll get weeded out eventually. And, with that tournament, that golfer, he's going to shoot high and he's going to end up playing with higher players the next couple of days based on his score. So when you move into like a pro-am type event where the pro plays with 3 or 4 other players, depending, the handicaps really are important to have them accurate, because say if JD is 12 handicap on his Golf Canada membership, but in fact he's a better player, shoots 5 or 6 over par, but his handicap says 12, he's going to get a lot of value, and they're going to do well in that tournament just based on his handicap. So it goes back to the clubs and managers and those guys to kind of enforce that and get the players to enter their scores and keep them updated.
Well, and with these tournaments that you guys do put on, are they 2-day tournaments, 3-day, 4 days, 4 rounds?
With our provincial events, we are 3-day events. There is the men's and we just added a 4th round, we'll do a 3-day cut. So this year in Warman, we did top 20 in ties, made it on to the final day, and it made for some exciting golf. And it was a great way to run that event. So we'll look forward to next year and years beyond. So,
well, I imagine people probably get pretty excited, and I imagine that there's a lot of quality talent, both junior, amateur, pro-am kind of players in Saskatchewan. Mm-hmm. Is there any that stand out?
There's quite a few, for instance, Danny Klugard out of PA, he's won, this year he won the men's am. Last year he won he won the men's mid-am this year, mid-am last year, men's am last year. So he's the Order of Merit champion this season. There's lots of local favorites like David Stewart out of Saskatoon, the McNall guys in Regina. There's a ton of golfers in the province. I hate to miss a few names. Plus, we have quite a few junior players and college players that are currently down south right now working on their game. Probably not in class. They're doing most of their schooling either just via Zoom or online, and probably sitting on the range working on their game. And they come back in the spring and they really have a leg up on a lot of us other fellows who've been they're swinging in the dome here in Saskatoon or working at the local golf simulator. We have quite a few in the province, which is great, but it's just not enough. We need more. So, yeah.
Well, and speaking of student athletes, can you tell me how Golf Saskatchewan, kind of develops and allows these kids to get scholarships and either play in Canada or play in the NCAA down in the United States?
Definitely, we get as a coach, provincial coach, and working with a lot of juniors, I get quite a few emails about coaches from down south or in Canada reaching out, trying to get information on the player. And with technology and the internet, they can go ahead and look online and see results and try and contact the kid themselves or go through Golf Saskatchewan or whoever coach they may have. And we're definitely trying to help our juniors best we can. And Golf Saskatchewan has, I believe it's 12 scholarships available every year for junior golfers looking to excel in post-secondary education. So it's, definitely we try and help out the best we can.
Well, it's great that some of these kids do have the opportunity to go play golf at a higher level, and get a post-secondary education as well. Mm-hmm. So it's great that you guys do have programs in place to help these kids as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would you say that most kids go down to the United States or in Canada, or is it kind of 50-50?
It's tough to say. Some are doing it for the education. You kind of know, or you should know, if you're good enough to make it on tour. If you're shooting the lights out, you have a good chance. You're shooting 500 or 600 par consistently, you've got a good chance. But down south, there's just so much talent and so many players. They're a dime a dozen down there, and so you really got to be on top of your game and be trained properly and have coaching and mental work. It's a big project to get it all to where you should be. And we've been lucky. We've had a few professional players come out of Saskatchewan, Graham Dillette recently, Adam Hadwin. So we've got a few, but it's just, it's tough being in a province where you're frozen for 6 months and open for 6 months.
Well, speaking of Graham DeLette and Adam Hadwin, being born and raised from Saskatchewan and playing on the PGA Tour, would you say that is inspiring more young kids to get into the game of golf, seeing that someone from their own province has made it?
Oh, absolutely. It's huge, and even inspires myself. Creeping into my 40s, and I still makes me want to work on my game. So anytime you have a local player that can make it, gives these younger players a really good thought and goal to achieve. And even in 2018, when the CP Women's Open came to Regina, with Brooke Henderson winning the event, it was huge for golf in Saskatchewan and Canada. So we hope to see the wave, or that sort of thing with junior golf and female golf. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Well, and even to inspire women, you had Anna Young, which actually played in that tournament. She's from right here in Saskatoon.
Absolutely.
Do you think that not even just Anna, but Brooke Henderson, and for the LPGA to be in Regina, that's inspiring more women to get into the game of golf, and also big for the province of Saskatchewan as well?
Absolutely. It's great to see all the new golfers and golfers that continue to play. And with social media, you see posts, and some people haven't played for years, and they come back and they buy a membership or buy a range pass, and they're just enjoying the game and sharing it with their kids, and growing the game and getting future generations of golfers happening. So it's great to see.
Well, it's great to see just more people getting into golf, because I remember when I got into golf, it was wasn't a whole lot of people that played it. It was more of if you're a hockey player, you're supposed to play golf, or
right.
Or why do people think that hitting this white ball is fun?
Yeah.
People, it's not for people that don't have patience, people would say. But
absolutely, it can be a frustrating, that's for sure.
But just in the past, let's go 10 years. Would you say that there's been an increasing number of members joining Golf Saskatchewan, or Golf Canada, or PGA Saskatchewan?
It seems like it fluctuates. This year, it's really spiked. So depending on the year and the weather, there's many variables to gauge those numbers. So definitely hope to see that improve year to year, and yeah.
So kind of going back to starting young with golf, what does Golf Saskatchewan offer for young kids? Do they have programs in schools? Do they put on clinics, all that kind of stuff?
Definitely do lots of programming year round. That was part of my goal to join when I joined Golf Saskatchewan, was to get into the schools and get into teaching grassroots golf right from K to 12, and get clubs in people's hands that they would never play golf. And for me, living in Saskatoon here, I visit a lot of schools throughout the winter, and that's a big part of my job. And right now with COVID, they're not allowing outdoor speakers to come to the schools, so I can't take over a gym class for the day and have fun with the kids. So it's kind of frustrating, but at the same time, it's we'll wait and see. Hopefully next semester. So.
Well, do you see a lot of excitement with young kids and golf?
Definitely do, and you have to make it fun so that they'll come back and enjoy it more. And with our Golf in Schools program, we add a lot of things to the kit. So if you want information on the Golf Canada elementary schools kit, or the intermediate or high school kit, just go to golfcanada.ca. There's more information there, and it's great to help teachers show their kids how to golf. So all the golf pros around, they can't reach every person in the province, so we can get more teachers involved and get them comfortable teaching golf to their class. It just helps everybody in the long run. So that's
one thing you don't you don't really see, well, at least when I went to school, I didn't really see golf, people coming in to talk to you about golf or playing golf in, PE class or anything, and it's that sort of thing. So it's nice to see that Golf Saskatchewan's taking those steps to start kids young in the game of golf.
Mm-hmm. We did a count. I believe it's close to 300 of these elementary kits are spread around the province. They're either purchased by the school with their budget that they have per year, or a golfer's donated a kit to a school that their grandkid or kid goes to school at. So the more we can get people swinging clubs, the better. So yeah.
And kind of moving up from elementary schools, you getting into high school. Does Golf Saskatchewan, because I know high school golf is so big out here, does Golf Saskatchewan, are they the kind of the governing body for high school golf, or is that for the school district?
The school districts do that. We assist in anything that they need, like locating a facility or doing rulings, that sort of thing. We do have volunteers that'll go and assist them with that if they need. But yeah, generally it's run by the school districts. And
would you say that high school golf is becoming more popular in Saskatchewan?
When I played, I went to school, I might be dating myself. I went to Eston Composite and graduated in '96. So we had a sand green high school team. So that still exists, I believe. There is still sand green golf, and high school golf is gaining popularity, and it's definitely a talk among the juniors. Who's the high school champion, who's the Golf Saskatchewan champion. So there's two different type of champions, right? You can call yourself a provincial champion either way. So yeah. And
kind of from your knowledge, do they kind of offer the same kind of range of tournaments that like Golf Saskatchewan would offer?
They just, based on the school's budget, they would probably have their own training programs, and then you have your high school championships in the fall, usually at the end of the season. Previous years, I've seen snow flying, so they had to cancel or shorten the event based on one day because the snow was just accumulating and you couldn't put a ball on the green. The pull carts were getting full of snow, so you couldn't even move your bags. So yeah, it'd be nice if they moved it back or had it earlier in the year, but that's the planning that they have. So,
and would you say in golf or in Saskatchewan, do you think that golf is becoming as popular as, let's say, hockey or football?
That's a tough one because lacrosse is our national sport, but hockey is way up there. Baseball, soccer, all of these sports, once they're available, they're popular, and I hope to see these golfers stick with golf and sure go play your other sports, but just remember golf is there for a lifetime. You can play it as a 5-year-old and you can play it as a 99-year-old, even up in your hundreds if you want, right? So it's a lifetime game. So hopefully we can just get more golfers enjoying it.
Yeah, golf is definitely a game for everyone, or all ages, I should
That's
say.
Right. Well, it's accessible, and JD, for instance, I teach I help out with, because we're with the Sask Sport group. We're in the office in Saskatoon with other Sask Sport associations. One instance, the wheelchair sports. So get to help out with them and their clients and help them with golf and show them access that you can get out on the golf course and play golf, even if you are limited in a wheelchair. They have what's called a solo rider. It's used at the City of Saskatoon courses. You can transfer it from Wildwood over to Silverwood and play there. As long as you give them enough notice, you can go ahead and use it and book the unit. I believe there's one in Regina as well. So,
well, it's very nice that for people in wheelchairs and maybe are limited, that
Mhm.
they're still able to play numerous amounts of sports, especially
Oh,
golf.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And same with the blind sports. We've coached some pretty good golfers that can't see or are very limited vision, and they have their caddy, their spotter with them there, and hopefully we can get back to meeting with these groups and getting out there, and this COVID can just kind of go away, in my opinion, sooner than later. And let's get golfing. Let's take the flag out would be just great.
Or actually, take the flag out and actually, go and grab your own ball without having to worry about touching anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You see a ball and you want to pick it up, but you can't. Might have COVID on.
So we're just going to take a short commercial break and we'll be right back. And we're back at the Sask Sports Show. We have Steve with us, and right before the end of the break, we were talking about how the Golf Saskatchewan is reaching out to groups that in wheelchairs or are limited, and they're trying to promote the game of golf. So with that, Steve, what is Golf Saskatchewan doing to promote golf for people with disabilities or are limited?
Definitely, it's a big topic, and nationwide, not just in Saskatchewan, is inclusivity, and we're open to helping any organization to get out there and swing the club and enjoy the game. And golf's a game. It doesn't care who you are. It's a hole way down there. Trying to get this ball into that hole. It doesn't matter what color or skin or what have you. It's just a game, and people love it, and more people should enjoy it. So,
well, would you say that? Let's just start in maybe Saskatoon. Would you say that more people are becoming interested in that? That are limited to the game of golf?
Definitely, we're seeing some increase and more interest, and it's unfortunate we were rolling with some steam, and then COVID hit and really put a halt on any sort of training or programs for people who are have the disability, and because they're the ones who are vulnerable to this virus, and it's very tough to teach a golf lesson from far away with a mask on, not being able to touch the club or put their hand in the right position or help them out in any physical way to get them swinging the club properly. So definitely some challenges ahead of us. Yeah.
But it would honestly be very cool to see, in the Special Olympics or anything like that, to have golf.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And Special Olympics is a big thing in Saskatchewan. And again, we haven't done anything this year, but hopefully in the future we can get together with that group. And I know in Nipawin, they do have a Special Olympics group that go out and play, and we've donated some clubs that somebody donated to us, so we forward that on to them, and free to use, and they're just happy to be out swinging. And Nipawin's a fabulous place to play. If you haven't played there, it's definitely one of the top 5 in the province.
Well, I might have to take a little trip up there, check it out.
And another great one, and I don't know if you know Elk Ridge, which was under receivership, and that is now not quite confirmed, but it's going to be back in play. And there's a group that has gone and purchased it and just waiting for bank approval. And you'll see the fairways and flags will be in next spring, which is pretty exciting. It's a big golf course, big community. It really helps that northern economy up there with having Waskesiu and then Elk Ridge next door to it. So,
well, I've kind of heard from people around here about Waskesiu and the amount of, I would call them celebrities, people that have athletes, coaches, all sorts of people. They seem to make their way up there to summer, have summer homes up there.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. You get a lot of wildlife that are actually quite friendly. The elk, they'll come roaming through the course, and they won't get out of the way. They'll just kind of hang out and watch you golf. And it's a beautiful place. And in fact, I just got engaged there this summer, so it was a fabulous spot.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
So many great things are coming out of COVID.
That's right. Absolutely. People say it's a terrible year. I look at it and go, well, it's been one of my best. So
yeah, it's you have to look on the bright side of it. There's, with all the new tearing everybody down, you kind of have to look at the positives of what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like yourself getting engaged and people having kids and getting married, just all the good things that have happened.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one tough thing right now, is to plan a wedding based around a guideline of 30 people, which could be a good thing, right? So,
well, at least now you can't get mad if people don't invite you. You're like, well, sorry, I only had 15 people or 30 people.
Yeah, perfect.
So with the golf season coming to an end this year, is there anything that golfers or you guys have in the works for, new projects or plans or programs to expect for next year or in the next couple years to come?
Definitely planning future locations for events, and I'm still waiting to get contracts signed for our host sites next year and years, 2022, 23, that sort of thing. As for programming, we've got some plans in place to do some online webinars. That seems to be the way things are going now with indoor limitations. It's actually been great. Another thing with COVID is online Zoom meetings. Maybe too many of them, but at least you don't have to travel, right? We have close to 60 to 70 junior golfers in the province that compete. Now, there's probably a lot more junior golfers, but the ones that compete provincially, we can reach out to them and we can all get together online and create some programs. So we have some webinars that we're working on we'll be releasing those in the new year. So definitely looking forward to it. From the mental game to health and fitness, nutrition, hydration, all that sort of thing, that really, again, putting all that package together as a golfer and trying to make it collegiately or professionally is something you have to achieve. So.
And speaking of mental health, does Golf Saskatchewan have I would say, things in place and a program in place to help kids with mental, awareness and all that kind of stuff? Because being a junior golfer, there's a lot of pressure there, not even from other people, but parents and spectators and all that alike.
Definitely, it's mental health is huge, and we encourage our junior golfers that we try to promote a safe sport, and if there's anything going on at home or at the golf course in your group that you're golfing with, to please come forward, and it's okay to speak out. And years past, you just kind of brush it under the rug, and that's not the way to do it. And let's talk about it and get it off your chest rather than push it deep down inside kind of thing. So definitely a big one with mental health. So.
And let's say a scenario, if a young junior golfer did come to you, do you have people that you would recommend to talk to young golfers?
Definitely. I mean, I'm not a mental health expert. I'm not a psychologist. I wish I was, but I could probably use one myself. But we have professionals in place that we can reach out, give their contact information to the Sask Sports Science Council. We work closely with them. They have a bunch of trained professionals that we can forward their information if needed or requested. So yeah.
Well, it's great to hear that if these kids do need help, they can definitely get it
Definitely.
very, very easily.
Yeah.
And my next question is, how does one become a member of Golf Saskatchewan?
There's I guess two options. One would be if you joined a golf course that's a facility member of Golf Canada, Golf Saskatchewan. You can with your membership that you buy from, say, the Willows. Okay. That includes the Golf Canada membership, so you that gains access to the score center and that sort of thing. If you don't want to join a golf club, you just feel that you want to spread your golf around to different golf courses, but you want to keep a handicap and play in tournaments, you can. It's called a Golf Saskatchewan public player, Golf Canada public player. You just go to their website. I believe it's $39, maybe it's even $49 taxed in, $50 taxed in. Gives you access to the score center. Then you can keep your scores and stats. And they just released a new app, so you can put it on your phone and keep track of all kinds of stats and data. And that's kind of the way that golf's trending is data and information is huge. And the more you can learn your short game or your sandbuck or your putting, those little data points, if you can learn from that and see where you need to improve, then your game plan with your coach, you can get on the right path. So it's definitely important.
Well, it's good. It makes it easier for people, keeping their score and if they want to take that route to be a golfer at the next level, I guess that's something that you definitely need to do.
Definitely.
And how many roughly, is Saskatoon your guys' head office, or are you guys kind of spread out with different kind of districts? And roughly how many people are a part of Golf Saskatchewan?
So we have our main office, our only office is in Saskatoon. It's been part of the office group there with SaskGolfer for a number of years. So we have a staff, our executive director, we have myself, and then there's a membership manager, and then there's a communications manager as well. So he takes care of the website, social media, writes stories on our website, and communicates with our golfers in the province. And so we only have 4 staff, but once summer hits and we're allowed to hire a couple of interns, get in there for summer students, interns, and one helps me with the events, day-to-day setup, scoring, that sort of thing. And then we have a whole bunch of volunteer people that some of them they rate golf courses, go around the province and rate courses that haven't been rated for a number of years. We have a large crew of referees that help out, promoting rules clinics, offering clinics to different clubs in the province. They also help out during our events as well. So there's a big, close-knit group of 40, 50 people, volunteers. Plus we have our volunteer board. They kind of just let the staff do their thing and don't really step in too often. So it's great that way.
How does one become a volunteer? If somebody wanted to, how could they do that?
Either email myself, call myself, get in touch, depending what you want to do, whether it's rules, whether it's course rating, or just helping out as a volunteer at a tournament. Again, we encourage when our events are at locations that the membership there will volunteer and help out, and it's people love golf, and sometimes you can't golf, you're physically unable to, you're maybe a little too old now, but they want to be there and they want to watch some golf and take scorecards or hand out bottled water or something, anything to help the service and make the event run smoothly. So
would you, like these tournaments that you guys put on, let's talk about the Pro-Am or the more men's tournaments, are they are you trying to make them like the same atmosphere as a PGA tournament with that sort of feel?
Definitely, with our men's amateur and women's amateur, the mid-am, the juniors, we have sponsors that help us out. TaylorMade, Melody Motors in Melfort. They give us a truck to use so we can haul all of our tournament supplies and our trailer around. So yeah, on site, we'll have a bunch of TaylorMade banners, some fencing, lots of advertising ideas, and make it feel like it's a professional event, yet it's still an amateur event. And it gets the butterflies going for that golfer on the first tee when they see all that stuff there and people are watching and they have caddies, and it's just a great thing to promote and compete in competitive golf.
And at your tournaments, is there a huge turnout of people that do come out and support not only the players, but just to watch golf?
Absolutely. And this year we didn't allow too many spectators. The limit was, I believe, 30 outdoors, so it was limited that way. So you'd have to, if you wanted to go watch, you'd have to go check in with the starter, sign the online waiver, declare that you're COVID free, and give the starter your information so that if in fact they did have COVID, that we'd have a trace name and contact information. In years past, we've had quite a bit of interest in golf and spectating because we don't charge people to go watch. It's if it's a nice day and the tournament's on the last round and they're coming down the stretch, and yeah, you could see up to 50 to 100 people there watching, following the groups.
Well, that's good that not even that you're getting actual more members, but also just more spectators too. That's I know it can either be nerve-wracking or exciting for somebody to see 100 people watching you.
Yeah, it can be, and the best golfers they zone that out and they don't even see the crowd. And this year, in years past, we've had Global come out and get the cameras right in there, and some golfers bothers them, the others they don't even see them. So the top golfer will eventually prevail.
Well, we're just going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with the Sask Sports Show. Okay, so my next question is kind of going back to when the just back with the tournaments when the LPGA CP Women's Open was in Saskatchewan and how big that was. Has there been big tournaments like that held in Saskatchewan in years past?
That was the first LPGA event. In years past, the Mackenzie Tour or Gateway Tour, whatever name it was, they were out at Dakota Dunes. It used to be the Saskatchewan Open. So they'd come through, and it was from start to finish. They were fabulous events, minimal fee to go watch. And it was out at Dakota Dunes here and just outside of Saskatoon at the Whitecap First Nation. And the players loved the course. It's a real challenge and one of their top 5 stops on tour. So unfortunately, in the last few years, it just the sponsorship kind of dried up, and it costs a lot of money to get the purse and get the player, get the event there. So I think it was tough to see it go away, but.
Well, it's still pretty exciting, and even for Saskatchewan to have that tour come to Saskatoon.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, it was fun to watch those players hit the ball.
And in your opinion, do you think that COVID is going to affect the game of golf in Saskatchewan for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years?
Yeah, definitely affects it. And I mean, we just work with the business response team and the government of Saskatchewan, and hopefully, the pandemic will be lifted and we can all kind of breathe a little bit and take the flag out, get the junk out of the hole kind of thing. And yeah, I honestly can't really say until there's a vaccine and yeah, we don't really know. We're just going to plan next year and keep moving month by month and hopefully things improve.
And just to add to that, has not just you, but all golfers in Saskatchewan do you think that with COVID kind of shutting everything down and a lot of things had to be canceled, did it take a impact on the morale of golf in Saskatchewan?
I think so, for sure. And, a lot of the competitive players, that's their summer. They take the week off of holidays from their job to come compete in the men's amateur and try and make Team Saskatchewan and go to nationals. That's a big thing to represent your province and go compete against Canada's best golfers, whether it's women's, seniors, or juniors. So to take that away definitely was a hit for everybody. And, thankfully we were able to, work with the business response team and get a plan in place to allow events to take place. And it gave an avenue for competitive golfers to get out and compete with other golfers and have other golf courses run their events. So definitely makes for, some more revenue to come in the door by having tournaments at your course.
Well, and also kind of leading into my next question is that, do you think COVID took a hit financially for golf in Saskatchewan and possibly Golf Saskatchewan itself? With things.
Definitely, some funding may have gone away, but, from around the province, talking to managers and professionals, that they barely golfed at all. Normally a golf pro could get out 20 to 30 times. And I know some of the guys, you could count on one hand how many times they played, just because the tee sheet's full every day from 5:30 a.m. till dusk, right? So it's tough to take a spot when a green fee or a member could take that spot. So you don't want to take that away from somebody and just kind of step aside and let the golfers go enjoy it. So yeah.
Well, it's kind of a good thing that golf is the game that it is, because it's not a contact sport. You're not in and around big groups of people every day. So I like me, myself, and I know other people were very happy that at least golf was able to come back in May. And that's kind of kind of all what I've said all along is that golf is, because it's such a widespread sport, and you're not, besides just if you have a caddy, you're only really next to your caddy. Besides that, you're really not in contact with a whole lot of people. So if there was a sport to play that was probably safe from getting COVID, golf is that sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I even think it's safer than curling.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But, well, Steve, I really thank you for joining the show tonight. And I wish you all the best in 2021. Hopefully things will look up for, not even just golf, but all sports. And I wish you all the best with everything that's going on next spring and summer. So again, I just want to say thank you for joining the show here.
Yeah, you bet, JD. Thanks for having me on, and all the best in your endeavors, and look forward to your broadcasts in the future.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, well, I definitely have to have you back on the show to, keep us updated on what's going on with golf in Saskatchewan.
Sounds good, JD. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.